This is just going to be really down-to-earth stuff, really practical stuff, hopefully take you to some interesting places. But that's my goal for you, and my hope is that this really adds to your life as far as helping you be a better leader, so you don't wake up in the morning hating your job or feeling like you've messed up, because no one likes feeling like that. So.
So she ran away in her sleep and dreamed of paradise, paradise. Every time she closed her eyes.
Hi guys, this is episode 1 of the Accelerate Leadership Show. I'm the host, Dustin J. Donnelly, and I hope you'd take you on a journey for the next year or two on just all the leadership stuff that I can do to help you with your leadership. They say you should begin with the end in mind, and I couldn't think of a better metaphor for that than being here at Orpington Cemetery. I know it seems a little cryptic maybe, but this is actually such a great metaphor for that as I begin this thing, what I've been thinking about is, how do I want to be remembered when I'm in here? What do I want this thing to say? What do I want my life to be known for and be remembered for? And through the experience that I've had so far, I want to give you just a little insight into why I'm doing this in the first place. Even Simon Sinek, many of you have heard of him, talks about starting with why, because the why you do something is so much more important than the what you do or how you do it. So this is my why run this show, for all 6 of you that end up watching this video. I guess it's something I've become really passionate about just through all my experiences in life. I've been in everything from direct sales to working at a forest firefighter to working in a coffee shop and a pizza restaurant, to working in a church now as a youth pastor and being in that world. And in every different phase, I've always had some people that were fantastic leaders, people that I would follow, and there's people that I've just seen do actually a terrible job, don't care about people, don't manage well, don't lead well, or lead at all. And I just think there's a massive difference that it makes to the world. I think everything that I've seen rises and falls on leadership. So here's what I mean. For example, I worked for a company called Southwestern Company. Now, they did direct sales. That's right, I was knocking on doors and asking people to buy books from me, books that would help their kids with education. Now, this was a fantastic company. They taught me so much. But here's what I saw. We would have people in their young 20s encouraging other young 20s to come out for the summer and spend their summer living together, working 80-hour weeks, knocking on doors from morning till night to make a living and improve their skill set. There's nothing wrong with that. In fact, I would encourage you to work for that company, because if you do, you have my respect 1,000% already. But here's what I saw. So many managers were really good at their job. They could sell snow to a Eskimo and all that, but they lacked a little bit on spending enough time with the people that they brought out for them to succeed. And when they hit a low spot, when they're failing, when they're just beginning and they're not good at it yet and they want to quit, there's 2 ways that can play out. Either someone's going to sit with them, explain something that's actually meaningful and helpful, and they're going to go out the next week and improve and start to see some encouragement, get some hope, see some success, and finish the summer. Or they're not going to get the help they need, they're going to get ignored, and they end up going back home with their tail between their legs, feeling like a failure, and it's just such a massive difference in their life. If you quit and you go home feeling like a failure, I know that affected the next like 3 or 4 years of their life, because they promised everyone, hey, I would do this thing, I would finish, but if you finish the summer, you feel on cloud 9. You feel like you're going to be the next president. You could run NASA. There's nothing that you couldn't do because you finished the hardest thing that someone can do, which is knock on doors 80 hours a week, and you did it, and you made money, and you succeeded. Now, I just saw that as like ruining people's lives or benefiting people's lives massively, and I couldn't let that go. So on Sundays, I sat down with first years and beginners, and I made it such a point to just train them and do as much as I can to help them stay, because I didn't want them going home and ruining how they see themselves for the next 3 or 4 years of their life. But all that came down to is leadership. In the same way, I worked for Wells Fargo company, and I've had one really good leader, one really good manager, and multiple terrible leaders and terrible managers. And the difference was just he actually cared about me. And that made me want to come to work in the morning. He brought me to his house on a Saturday. He helped me study on off hours. He literally, I could just tell he cared about me as a person. On the other hand, there were so many managers that you could tell I was just another number. The people that came into my office was just a number for them. And all they cared about was money and profits and numbers, so much more than people. And every employee at that time in that place hated their job. They didn't want to be there. And so to me, leadership seriously makes the difference between someone hating their life for years at a time or enjoying their job. It means the difference of going home feeling like a failure for the next 4 years of your life, or going home feeling like you are the champion of the world and there's nothing that you can't do. That all is because of leadership. So I've made it a point to, even though I'm starting small, I just think starting small is infinitely better than not starting at all. And even though I only influence maybe 1,000 people, if Facebook is true, then that's better than nothing. So part of this is just a creative outlet for me to talk about leadership and kind of figure things out as I explain it, because you learn a lot better when you teach than when you just learn from other people. So this is me teaching almost myself while teaching you. So hopefully that's helpful. But obviously the main reason I'm doing this is because I'm just tired of seeing people hurt, and I really want to see leadership done the right way. So I'm not doing it for tomorrow or next week or even next year. What I'm hoping, this is just the beginning of a 10 to 20 year journey, so that 20 years from now I'm known as someone that does know something about leadership. I'm not an expert yet, but through interviewing leaders around the world, through challenging myself to make these videos every single week, that's my hope, is that I just get better and better and better, and I really understand it, and then I'm also able to teach it so I can benefit people's lives and leave the world in a better place than I found it. Guys, my hope for you and my goal for you is just, I understand that there's so many people who influence other people now, whether you wanted to or not. You've been put in a position where you manage people or you lead people, and I know it wasn't a subject in school. It's hard to learn leadership outside of just doing it, but instead of making all the mistakes, instead of hurting people's emotions or doing things wrong or getting in trouble, what I hope is that through this channel I can give you some tips and some hints, and you can hear from a bunch of other leaders that are far more experienced than me of how you can accelerate to becoming a great leader without going through all the bumps and bruises along the way to learn from experience yourself. They say knowledge is when you learn from experience, and wisdom is when you learn from other people's experience and don't have to make those same mistakes yourself. And so this is hopefully giving some wisdom to you on how to lead better, how to have more success in your own role as a leader, and accelerate that whole process for you so that you can be a great leader way faster than you would be if you hadn't heard some of these tips and from some of these people. And that's my goal. This is just going to be really down-to-earth stuff, really practical stuff, hopefully take you to some interesting places. But that's my goal for you, and my hope is that this really adds to your life as far as helping you be a better leader so you don't wake up in the morning hating your job or feeling like you've messed up, because no one likes feeling like that. So that's it. Hopefully this helps you with those.
She ran away in a sleep and dreamed of paradise.
Just a little bit about me. I do live in England right now, just about half an hour south of London, in the London area, but I did not grow up here. I've been here for 2 years, but I grew up in Montana. My wife and I both, she grew up in Washington, I grew up in Montana. She moved to Montana at 18 and lived there for 10 years. And that's my history. I grew up in a small town called Missoula, about 100,000 people in Montana. And it was a wonderful childhood, just such a beautiful place. And now I've gotten the opportunity to work with a different church up here in England. And now I'm a youth pastor running a youth group up in London. And so this was all new for me 2 years ago when I moved here. I'd been to Mexico before, but that was about it. And so now I've been to Dubai and France and a few in Spain and a few other places, Ireland. And it's just been an amazing journey. And I just wanted to start documenting all the stuff that I get to do in this season of my life, which is I brush shoulders with amazing leaders, not just amazing leaders, but amazing leaders from around the world who have cultural differences. And hopefully that is an advantage for me, an advantage for you, that I get to show you that and bring in people with different voices and different experiences so we can be the most well-rounded leaders as possible. That's kind of my hope. So that's me. Like I said, this is totally about the long game for me. I just think I'm going to learn to be a better leader through trying to run this channel and interviewing great leaders from around the world. And so I'm happy with that. And I would just love to invite you on this journey with me if it interests you, if it's something that catches your eye and that you feel like is valuable to you. Come along with me on the journey. Watch these episodes. I promise they'll get better. I don't expect the first 20 or so to be any good, but I will do my best, and love to interact. As people subscribe and comment below, I'll be interacting with you guys, because part of this also is I want to surround myself with amazing people. And I know there's some amazing people out there who are amazing leaders and doing amazing things. Can we hang out? Can we be friends? I want to be in touch with people that are amazing people, because I think when you surround yourself with amazing people, that's when you can do amazing things and amazing things happen. And so let's keep making a difference in the world. Come with me on the journey, and I'm so happy you're here with me. Cool. Let's do this. All right. See ya.